Ladies and gentlemen, today's video is going to be on chivalry and how women tend to make some bad choices, but blame it on men. Starting off with this post that somebody took a screenshot of and then emailed to me. It says, "No woman comes with bad intentions into a man's life. It's the man's behaviors that changes the intentions of a woman." Well, not only is that absolutely fucking stupid, I would argue that if you deny a woman's right to make poor choices, then you're denying a woman's right to live her life by her own choices, including ones we don't like. So let's start off with chivalry, which is another thing that women blame men for there being a lack thereof. I'm of the position that it's not men's fault at all. I think men are out here just doing their very best with the very mixed messages that us as women are sending them.
So y'all tell me if I'm wrong, okay? And if I look a little bloated, oh well. I got into a little altercation at the club, right? It's my bro's release party. I was going to the restroom.
Will you please get to the point?
And there's no women in line. It's straight men. It's a unisex restroom. And I go up and I ask each man if I can get in front of them to use the restroom because I really had to go. This one man who was in the front, a larger man, looked at me like I had 10 heads. The second man, who had a whole bunch of designer shit on him, was trying to just have conversation. And the third man didn't say shit. There was two girls, ended up getting into an altercation, and the girl got beat up, apparently, in the bathroom next to me. But nonetheless,
what? Your whole point is that chivalry is dead because people wouldn't let you cut in line? I don't even understand. Do you even understand? First of all, what I find funny about chivalry is that it's defined as the medieval knightly system within its religious, moral, and social code. The combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and readiness to help the weak. So lady, I'm not really sure if you're aware, but men don't owe you absolutely fucking anything. And why, first of all, would a man let you cut him in line? I don't know if you gotta pee. Maybe you're just trying to get in quicker. That's what I would assume. But my question to you, ma'am, is if these are all the things that men are expected to be, then how come when we expect women to be quiet, to be pretty, to be sweet, how come we acknowledge that that's bad? Why is it that we encourage men to not put us in a gender box, but we expect men to stay in their gender box, to just live by our rules and be constantly thinking of what we need? No, if I had a penis, I would be one selfish motherfucker.
I forgot how useless men are nowadays. I remember a couple weeks ago, my car wouldn't start, and it was the most annoying thing ever because it was 3 a.m. We just got out of a party, we're tired, just want to go home. My car wouldn't start. So naturally, I call every guy that I know that's in the greater Cincinnati area, right? Half of them were asleep, so I'm not mad at them. But of those that were awake, either they didn't have jumper cables or they didn't know what to do or they didn't know how to do it, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not one for gender roles, but come on now. Is this who we are? And maybe asking Kobe, what about your girlfriends? All my girlfriends were in the car. So I need the men that I know, and they did not come through. And now I'm sick of men. I'm useless. Thank you.
First of all, let's just put this flat out on the record. Every single one of those guys that you called had jumper cables and knew exactly what they were doing. Those men were laughing at you, and they're laughing at you more so now because you decided to be so entitled that you were going to call them at 3 o'clock in the morning and then call them useless because they didn't show up to heed to your every command. I'm sorry, you want a man to travel across the city at 3 a.m. to come see you? To come help you in the middle of the night? Yeah, let's see how that goes down.
I'm literally shaking right now because I just had a man approach me in a parking lot and it went fine. And I'm going to tell you why it went fine and how to address it because it was in a book I read and this is how you're supposed to address it, but it scared me. I'm literally shaking. So this guy, I'm alone with my son, by myself, a woman, and a male approached me in a parking lot. He's, "Excuse me, miss," and I don't know why in the hell he was approaching me or what he was trying to do. And before he was probably 30 feet from me when he's...
Yes, because if I was a dude and I was going for my daily raping stroll through the parking lot, I would certainly start off the attack with a polite, "Excuse me, miss," from 30 feet away. Like, lady, if you've had a bad, negative, even traumatizing experience in the past with a man, it totally makes sense for you to be not at ease, even to do things in your life differently. But to create a complete moral panic in society and within yourself is just absolutely moronic, because the fact that you think that this guy was just going to come kill you just because you're a woman, I hate to break this to you, lady, but if you want to combat global rates of femicide, I 100% implore you to do so, but please acknowledge that you are ignoring 81% of the issue. Like, you guys will say shit like that about men on a daily, and then you expect men to do stuff like this for you?
Probably won't believe this. I mean, I'm still shocked, but there's still men out there who don't open doors for girls when getting into a restaurant, like on a date or something. And there's also men who don't open your car doors. So you get next to an Uber, you open the door, you want to get in, and then he makes you like scoot over so he can literally do zero effort.
That's how you do it.
I mean, am I too old school, or you guys just have zero manners?
Yes, lady, you are too old. That is why you are filling your face with Botox to hide the fact that you're getting older. You really look like you would be very naturally pretty if you stopped with all the plastic in your face. However, why should we expect men to do things like that for us when we treat them like absolute crap? They do stuff like that for us, and we don't label men as gentlemen. We still say that they're fishy, they probably want something, and we continue to create a moral panic around them. See, you want and expect men to do all of these things for you, but yet we allow women like this to make videos that get up to well over 1 million views.
Does anyone think it's kind of funny that, like, we used to all think it was, like, so romantic and cute when somebody offered to come pick us up for a date, and now we're like, what the fuck? You're gonna fucking murder me. Hell no, you're not fucking picking me up and knowing where the fuck I live.
It's very strange to me that these women have, again, created some sort of moral panic around men and the fear of their violence. You're worried about getting graped, which is understandable, but did you know that women can and do grape men as well? Except the difference is whilst instead of it being labeled as grape, which it should be, American men are classed as made to penetrate. In the UK, that definition doesn't even exist. If you are a woman, it is legally not defined that you can grape a man. 12.6 million American men, or about 1 in 9, are made to penetrate in his lifetime. That is the NISVS 2017. And these are the ways that it's done. 22% of male victims had it happen through threats of telling lies, threatening to end the relationship, threatening to spread rumors about you, making promises you know were untrue, or continually verbally pressuring you after you said you didn't want to. 14.4% of male victims experienced it through use of force, holding him down with their body weight, pinning his arms, restraining him, or by use of a weapon. 11% of male victims experienced it through showing displeasure, criticizing your sexuality or attractiveness, getting angry but not using physical force after you said you didn't want to. So lady, I would assume that your primary fear is you don't want to get sexually assaulted. If you only care about or want to advocate for women who are sexually assaulted, I implore you to do so. But you are in fact ignoring 38% of the issue. And I bet you it would shock you to see how many people would actually believe a man if he said that he was raped by a woman. Men are blamed for absolutely everything, every single gender stereotype, but for women, it's really easy for us to have our gender stereotype be that no matter what poor choice we're gonna make, we are gonna blame it on a man. We are going to continue to push through double standards and say idiotic stuff like this.
I feel like we should be able to see men's dick.
So who's keeping you from seeing men's dick?
Like, we should see it out in the open. We shouldn't wait till, like, we're in, like, a room alone.
So do you feel the same way about vagina?
No.
So then why would you feel the same way why would you feel that about penis?
Because a lot of niggas are not, packing.
So what the hell does that have to do with you? Surprise!
Yeah, ma'am, just because us as women want to free the nip does not mean that men have to free the tip, okay? Consent is important, and the fact that you said you shouldn't have to wait till you're in the bedroom where he would be giving you consent is absolutely disturbing and concerning. Chivalry is dead because women continue to live off of this ideology that men are not allowed to place us in any sort of gender box, any sort of gendered expectations, but yet we can expect them to be a whole whack load of things and chivalrous while we say a bunch of terrible things about them and only label men when they are at their worst. Do I think that chivalry is bad? No, absolutely not. I don't think so. I think if you want to be a chivalrous man, do so. What I think is wrong is when women expect it from men, because the reality is we are not very nice to men in society. We're very rude. We have double standards, and we cannot seem to get on the same page as how we want them to treat us. It's very confusing. So the lack of chivalry in society, that is 100% our fault, because men don't know if opening that door for you is going to make you say thank you, or if you're gonna slap them and accuse them of staring at your ass.
Don't gotta be